morning I'm thinking like, what if it did work? What if you took action and made it happen and started living inside of your purpose? What if it did work? Right now you can make the choice to never listen to that negative voice no more.
It is night 5, Omar. Can you believe we've been doing this all week long?
Not really, because when you're doing something that you love, it just feels like the only thing that was awkward was doing it at an airport and having people listen to me.
Oh, I bet. But I will tell you this, I was shocked that when I pulled the clips, the audio was really, really good for being an airport recording.
Not only that, but there was no Wi-Fi. You couldn't even pay for it. It was for a big airport like Newark. Yeah.
Wow, that's nuts. So I want to jump right in. I know people are probably, ready to round out their week and all. We've been doing this each night, approximately the same time, trying to give people the pointers, the way to get to make, February the new January, the new year, new you. I think we've given them some great tools, but everything's been self-focused. What can I do? What can I do? And really, to get where you want to go, it takes a community. It takes people going along with you. The journey may have to be a little bit lonely. I mean, not everybody is cut for this, but the right connections make all the difference, don't you think?
Well, it's all about saving time. It's all about compressing time. Nobody was self-made. Yesterday at the speech at the introduction, they said I was self-made. Nobody's self-made. It requires other people. It requires a spouse. It requires other people to help you on your journey. So yes, you need to get in the right rooms. There's also the wrong rooms, which can cost you not only a lot of money, a lot of time, a lot of effort, and then you suffer also because you come from a place of everybody's out to get me. Yeah, you feel down because you feel like all this that you invested, all these hopes that you had in this room, and it turned out to be either a room of mirrors at a county fair or the haunted mansion.
And I think the person who wants to do better and wants to be better has this intuition to know when they have entered the wrong room, or maybe the room's changed on them. I'll give you an example. This weekend is the big game. We're not allowed to say Super Bowl, are we? No, too late. A lot of people will gather together, and there'll be sometimes you'll get into that room and you'll feel out of place. It's like, I've been watching this game with these guys for 15 years, but when you strive for more, when you begin to grow, when you begin to head towards your goals, you resonate on a different frequency. You kind of vibrate away from those that aren't doing that, and you become uncomfortable. So I think that's a big lesson too, is knowing that there's a room that you're not supposed to be in, and you'll feel it when you're in there.
You'll feel it. Well, I always feel that way because I'm socially awkward and I'm an introvert. So, but all joking aside, when you outgrow rooms, when you outgrow your network, the people you hang out with, yes. And they're gonna try to throw it on you because growing requires being in different rooms. I honestly don't think when Steve Jobs was alive, he was still hanging out with his high school buddies.
Right.
I don't think like the Howard Schultz after he retired for the millionth time with Starbucks. The times that he was the CEO, the times that he was the founder, the times that he owned the Seattle Sonics, I honestly don't think he hung out with his childhood friends in New York City. Is it because these people are mean and they don't know? It's because when you grow, you become a different person. You have different traits. You become a leader. You become confident.
Yep.
And if they a lot of times they don't want to grow with you. A
True.
lot of times just content. They're sick and tired of being sick and tired, but they have this mindset, they have this attitude, it is what it is.
Mm-hmm. And there's a stark difference between that room and then when you enter the room of achievers. Because what I've learned, we fear the unknown. And it's hard to believe I know as much as I talk, but I am introverted as well to a large degree, especially in a room that I've never been in before. I'm the awkward wallflower until somebody befriends me or I get to talk to somebody. But what I've learned is that, generally speaking, yes, there are a few dicks out there. I'll use your term from yesterday. But for the most part, people who are striving for success are not that way. They want to bring along people with them. And if you engage them, they're usually very cordial. They're usually very accommodating. You may not make their inner circle, but yeah, I remember I was at an event. It was like a very casual setting, and I knew I was the lowest income earner in the room. I mean, there was just no doubt. And they were all sitting around drinking bourbon and talking about what they were doing, what their plans were, how they were investing, what new projects they were working on. And I felt so out of place. And then all of a sudden, for some reason, I said, yeah, I'm getting ready to move, and I'm going to have some cash out from my home when I move, and I'm just trying to figure out what to do with it, And I'm talking, we're talking, 5 digits, and they're talking in terms of 7, and it was funny. They all turned to me and said, "That is a great starting place," and they started listing me off things that I could do at my level to help begin to move the things. And then they'd be like, "You need to read this book, and you need to go to." They were so accommodating and inviting. They wanted people part of the party. They weren't exclusive. They weren't, and it kind of blew me away because I'm like, I felt less than. And that's, I think, a lot of our problem is we often feel less than, and we won't go into the bigger rooms.
That's our limiting belief, though.
Yeah.
The limiting belief stops us from modeling someone that's been there, done that, that's successful, but they've been in there longer than us. How hard is it to pick up a phone? How hard is it to DM somebody? Hey, can I ask you a couple questions? The successful people, completely.
Mm-hmm.
No, they're not going to be like, yeah, I'll mentor you for a year for free. No, but successful people see abundance. It's those that are not that see scarcity.
Right.
Ask advice usually from somebody that's a pretender, and like, oh no, I'm not. Who are you?
Right.
But people that are out there that are highly successful, if you stop them on the street with a question or two, or you need advice, and if you're in these rooms, we're always in rooms. It's always because we have this myth from watching movies that highly successful people are going to be like, get the F out of here, Dave. Go park my car. That's only in the movies.
Right.
That's only the little voice inside your head. People want to help others rise up.
Mm-hmm.
It's those that aren't up that want to keep you down.
And I would say too, there's this power in connecting, because we all have something to bring to the table. And I don't hate to use the phrase, and there's the I know a guy, right? You talk about compressing time. There is no faster way to compress time than through I know a guy. Hey, I'm thinking of starting a podcast. Well, I know a guy that did it. He can probably give you some pointers on what to do. Or I wanted to get into real estate investing. Well, I know a guy who started in single family. Do you want to start in single family? Or the I know a guys that you get out of putting yourself out there in rooms that may make you uncomfortable are invaluable over time. And age doesn't matter. I've got connections that are in their 20s all the way up into their 80s. I mean, and they all bring value, and I'm able to add value to their lives, and it compresses the distance between start and success in whatever project you're working on. And if you don't cultivate those relationships, it's like the phrase, if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go as a team. I would say add to that, with the right connections, you can go far fast.
Oh, yeah. But you have to be careful, because there's a lot of used car salesman. There's a lot of people out there selling snake oil. The one thing is if they if you seek them, there's a good chance they're not. But if they seek you and they tell you the low price, that's like run clear.
Ended in a seven. Ended in a seven. 997, 49.97.
Exactly. Or just for you.
Yeah. So I will tell you this, and then this story will resonate. You and I would not know each other if I had not gotten over my own fear to say hello to you at an event you were speaking at. And then followed up, I think I followed up on Facebook Messenger after that. I have made it a point that whenever I go to a seminar, call it a seminar, call it an event, whatever, whenever I'm in a space where there's speakers, if there's a way for me to DM them, I will always go in and DM them and thank them for what they brought to the event. Whether I connected with it or not, it doesn't matter. They put themselves out there, and I want to show appreciation. And the number of good relationships, great relationships that have come out of that one exercise has been mind blowing over the last, because it's been about 18 months since I started that practice. And it's just, now there are those, don't get me wrong. I DM one guy and, hey, he took time out to Zoom with me. And then, hey, I want you in my community. And the next thing you know, it's a sales pitch. That is not the type of people that I want. I want the people that are like, hey man, thank you. It means a lot reaching out to me, and anything that I can do. And if it works its way down to that, that's a whole nother thing. But when they come out of the gate with the pitch, it's like, you haven't earned the right to pitch just yet.
Exactly. And there's nobody out there. I've said it on my podcast. I've said it in my lives. I've said it on other people's stages. DM me, fax me, Morse code me, smoke screen me.
Yeah.
Whatever way, send me a telegram. I will answer. I will reply. There's not one person out there that can say I didn't give them an answer, or I didn't reply, or I didn't tell them pay me first. I helped a guy literally that was losing hundreds of thousands of dollars. I gave him free coaching. I turned around his business, and I ended the relationship because it came to the point that he kept on over and over, and I got him. He was on the verge of closing his establishments. I turned it around for him. I kept on answering, and I'm like, "Well, are you going to pay me eventually?" And he's like, "No, I don't believe in paying for coaching." And I tell people this story. I don't believe in Santa Claus, but if a big fat obese guy started giving me presents, I'd be saying ho ho ho.
Yeah, no joke. And I think that's a valuable part of the equation too, is like, look, if you're taking the time of someone on an ongoing basis, and this is their vocation, then
Oh yeah,
you should expect to pay. But more times than not, the greats are more than happy to, I don't want to say taste the ice cream, but they're more than happy to help you out, as long, in a moment. It's like,
yeah,
you go buy John Maxwell's book at a book signing and you ask him a question, he's going to give you an answer. He's not going to say, well, you need to buy this book over here or buy that, but he'll give you an answer right then and there. But if you're wanting, to talk to him weekly, guess what? It's going to cost you.
exactly. Exactly. And it came to the point where, it wasn't like I grew up with a guy or he was a friend. He was a complete stranger. And then he was like DMing me for even personal advice on on relationship advice, which, I gave him sound advice. And he friended me, and he went from completely destitute to he was able to take his girlfriend all out doing all this. And he's like, how do I go from I'm profitable now to, way over here. And that's when I'm like, well, dude, I'm glad you asked because, you know, can you pay me? And that's when he threw it back in my face. It was like, you know, like I was the jerk. And it's like, dude, you know, there was times I was on a date or whatnot, and or I was with my kids and you're texting me business questions, or you're texting me, you know, relationship questions, but yet you don't believe in coaching.
Yep.
Now it was my fault for letting it go for so long, but it was my fault because he had it, you know, doing psychoanalysis on myself, you know, being an arts and science type of guy. He had a young son, and I tend to always try to help those or fix crazy women that have young boys because I feel like if I save them, I save the boy, I'm saving that inner voice, that inner child in
Yeah,
me.
I mean, I can see that. I mean, our past, you know, it affects how we see things. It's our lens. I will add that, you know, you talked about scarcity mindset versus abundance mindset. You know, scarcity mindset tries to get a brother-in-law deal every time they do something. Scarcity mindset is if you're friends with somebody, you want a discount from their business. Whereas an abundance mindset is not only do you pay full price, but you ask, hey, what else can I do? How else can I help you make your business grow? And it's the people, I have yet to see somebody with a scarcity mindset enjoying high levels of success in any area of their life. We're not, you know, money's the easiest one to point at, but even in relationships, in health, you know, scarcity mindset people have they just don't do well. I've got a let me throw a curveball question at you, Mr. Socially awkward introvert, and I'll see if it's the same as me. How do you connect when you go to a room that you've never been in before? What are
What type
what are some of your tools that you use?
I use the Mel Robbins 3, 2, 1, or I count down and I go in. Now, if it's a room that doesn't serve me, like when I was married and it was her friends and their husbands, well, I was an introvert. I'd give a shit. There was nothing in that room. You know, there wasn't that aha golden nugget that would propel me to be a better man, better husband, better anything. So I laid back. Now, if it's a networking room, if it's something that's going to help me out, I'm Mr. Happy Go Lucky. I'm Mr. that guy that you saw on stage. But when you go past your comfort zone, I remember a guy sent me a meme. It said like I've done podcasting, and it's a guy, or I work hard. I'm a podcaster, and he's passed out on the couch in his underwear. And yeah, I do feel that way after doing a great episode, or I felt drained after speaking an hour and giving my soul. Uh, in that talk in New Jersey, I slept on the plane and I was drained all morning. It's that because when you do work, because it requires work, it requires me. And then when people do say, oh, you know, there's two types of people, those that, yeah, it's awesome, you go past it. Or, you know, there's times that, yeah, I'm that socially awkward person. I'm that introvert. Someone at my cycling studio, a stranger came up to me and she's like, "Oh my gosh, I hear your podcast. I've read your book." Now she was expecting the, "Hey, how's it going? Whoa, whoa, whoa!" You know, I'm not. You know, my personality is I'm not like Grant Cardone. I'm not Anthony Robbins. I'm trying to be the best version of myself. But if I don't know you, I'm not. I'm not Mr. Hugger to begin with, much less like, hey, let's, you know, do you have a book? Can we take a selfie or not? Whatnot. So she had this look like I was being a dick. But if she would hear anything or read anything, or she really took it in, she'd realize I'm just an introvert.
Yep.
I mean, I appreciated the love. I appreciated the support. So, but yeah, in the in the room, I will go all out and be. I'm not playing a character. because what you see is what you get when you read the book, you hear the podcast, you hear any of my videos. That's who I am, and people say that's who I am, but I just tweak it. I'm more vocal. I'm out there because it's like what we always say, you're only one meeting away from meeting the right person.
Yep.
Well, what's to say, I don't go go in the right room and this guy wants to fly me out to Dubai or fly me out somewhere and, coach or speak somewhere.
Yep. I'll give you my tips, and this will be probably all that we have time for tonight. So, number one, I've already talked about it. If I don't feel like I've gotten to somebody and I know who they are, I recognize them. Especially, like I said, it's easier with the speakers. The DM after the event is one of my tools. The other one is I try to be very observant and find something that I can notice on somebody. Whether it's a tattoo that they have. Tattoos are a thing now. It didn't used to be when I was growing up in this, or maybe it's something they're wearing, or I overhear them say something, or I try to connect without it being a business card push. Hey, I'm David. I do this, and that has served me well. A fellow that I met, a fellow by the name of David. Yes, it's spelled David, but he's from Spain, so it's David. I met him at an event, and he was as awkward as I was, and we happened to be at neighboring tables, and I just looked over to him, and I did the 3-2-1. I'm like, "Hi, I'm David," and he's like, "Hi, I'm David," and I couldn't hear because it was noisy, and so as I followed up with him later, I called him David out of the box, and I'm like, "Oh crap," bad first impression. But the fact of the matter is, more times than not, people are just as nervous as you are. So if you're willing to get out there and break the ice just a little bit and have some, maybe you're standing in line for at the not at the can, but maybe at the to get a drink. There's always lines when they break for lunch at these events. And you're standing there and you're looking at it and go, oh, they got grilled chicken on the salad. That's good, or something, and you just start talking a little bit. So, but you're right. You never know how close you are to that connection that really shortens the distance for you. And I think that's vital. I mean, you're in my relationships, mine with a couple of others that have been born out of some of these events has just been, it's been worth it. And I guess I just want to say it is completely worth it to get out of your comfort zone, meet somebody you've never met before, get in a room you've never been in before, listen to conversations, be part of conversations you've never been before, and go pass out on the plane afterwards. Because for us introverts, it's an extremely large expense of energy to meet people. We're drained by meeting people, where extroverts are, they're infused with energy. They could go run a marathon after doing a networking event. We need to go sleep for 2 days. So, but it's worth it. It's worth it. It's worth it.
Oh, completely. Because, going past your comfort, doing scary things, it's where the magic is. I mean, if somebody would told me that I'd be in a room full of 50 executives or whatever for that company yesterday and speak for an hour, I'd be like, speak for 30 seconds? No way, much less an hour. Was I nervous? Heck yeah. I had to meditate. I had to get in state. I had to do all that. I always get butterflies. I get butterflies before every podcast taping. What if I run? How about if I can't ask the right questions? How about if it's a horrible interview? How about if I start saying and all that again and all that, and or how about if they look at me as I'm dumb or that I don't know what I'm talking about? So yeah, everything will always be there because we're wired a certain way. You just have to step back and go, oh yeah, that's me acting all goofy again.
You're right. And but you and I are both proof that you can push past it, that you can. It takes time and it never goes away. I'm exactly like you. Until I say the first syllable when I'm speaking in front of a group, I'm just, all nerved up. In fact, I'm not going to tell the whole story, but I can't eat. I'll go to a banquet or a luncheon or something where I'm supposed to speak, or even if I'm just running a board meeting, I can't eat. I cannot eat until after I'm done with whatever it is that I have to say. So that's just, we're sharing that because that's just life. That's just the way it is for some people. And you have to be able to push through it, not push past it. You don't ever get past it, but you can get through it on a regular basis and help shorten that distance. So shall we tell everybody our big news?
Shoot, you're the
I'm the techie guy, right?
You're the techie guy, and you're the guy with the announcements. I'm just the hype guy.
Yeah, you're the hype guy. Yeah, I saw you hyping there just a second ago. So everybody, we have on the 22nd of February, that's 2 weeks from last night, 5 mindsets you need to achieve your dreams. It all starts between the ears. Perfectly free webinar. Again, leave your wallets at home. We're going to spend an hour, maybe a little longer because we tend to get long-winded telling stories, but at least an hour going over 5 mindsets you need. And this will play right into your plans for 2024. This will be the thing that helps you get from here to there, that helps you shorten that distance. And we're going to go live. There's going to be in the comment section of wherever you're watching this video, we'll have the link. It'll be a Zoom link. All we're asking for is your name and your email address so we can let you know when it's kicking off and remind you about it when it's happening. We're here to help. We want, are we trying to get paid at some point? You know what? We're going to let those chips fall when they need to fall, because at the end of the day, we're here about making impact in your life and in your business and, in your relationships, whatever it takes to help you move forward and be the very best version of yourself you can be. And so Omar and I are going to break down these 5 mindsets. We're excited. We've already got it all listed out exactly how we're going to do it. If we stick to script, we'll go an hour. If we don't stick to script, which, Omar's got a lot more experience on sticking to script now that he's done a TEDx talk, but we will try to stick to the script and really bring some strong value that night to help you. And again, we'll give everybody access to the recording so that you can go back and, when you get 3 weeks away after you've been doing it and you need to recenter on those mindsets, you'll be able to do that as well. But we're really, really excited about what's coming in 2 weeks.
Well, what Dave's trying to say is it's all about lagniappe, that Cajun word. If you're from South Louisiana, you're probably not going to do it anyways, but it means giving a little extra. We're always going to go above and beyond. We all know it's going to be more than an hour, but the one thing is you're not going to have buyer's remorse. 1, it's free. 2, if I was charging, has anybody ever read my book and said, oh shit, what a ripoff? Anybody that's ever been coached by me, have I ripped you off or have I gone above and beyond? Because we don't win unless you win, because that's my mindset. We don't chase money. I will never look at you as a checking account. I'm not looking for profit, profit. I'm off the backs of people. We're going to make money, but we're going to be creating opportunities for you. We're going to be expanding your vision. We're going to have you start believing and dreaming again, because literally it's not because it's 2024. It's not because it's hard. It's because you don't believe in yourself, and you don't believe, and you stop dreaming. You stop because you felt that someone else, that those are other people. Success isn't for you. Success isn't for my family. Wrong attitude, wrong mindset. We're gonna have you drink, not the Kool-Aid, not the Jim Jones Kool-Aid. We're gonna have you drink from the fountain of confidence, and the fountain of believing, and the fountain of dreaming, because you were meant for so much more. God created you for greatness. Enough of just getting by. Let's start living the life we were always meant to be living.
Ah, what a week, Omar. What a week. Remember, I'll be posting the link in the bottom in the chat, like we're going to chat in the comment section on Facebook, and it'll transfer over to wherever we've shared this. Again, all we need is your name and your email address so we can let you know when things kick off. I hope everybody has an amazing weekend. Omar, thank you so much for taking time each night this week, even while you were in the plethora of an airport of New York. I mean, Newark Airport. And this is how we would do it, man. You make it work where you got to make it work.
Hey, and like what Frank Sinatra said, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere, and we're gonna make sure you can make it.
God bless everybody.
I'm thinking like, what if it did work? What if you took action and made it happen and started living inside of your purpose? What if it did work? Right now you can make the choice to never listen to that negative voice no more. Thinking like, what if it did work? What if you took action and made it happen and started living inside of your purpose? What if it did work? Right now you can make the choice to never listen to that negative